What if you had the perfect 24 hours? I'm talking about the perfect 24 hours for fitness and biohacking. What if you could take a day and maximize it from beginning to end to improve your health, longevity, muscle growth, fat loss? What would it look like? We're going to paint that picture for you today in our episode. Let's get to it.
Super nervous to do this.
Biohack my day.
I just feel like we're setting the table for Dave Asprey or Ben Greenfield to do one of those comment videos where they're going to pick apart whatever you say right here.
We're not going to go that crazy.
No,
we'll back off the coffee enemas.
So no coffee enemas or nostril things. That. This
Nothing
is like
shoved up anything.
More traditional biohacking.
I want to make this
realistic.
Yes, both realistic, also data driven.
Okay.
Also, something that that somebody who's motivated would do. So realistic. This is the perfect 24 hours.
Achievable, yeah.
So this is the perfect 24 hours. So this is like, hey, I got the day off. I'm really into fitness and health. I plan this week. Saturday I'm going to try this thing out. What can I do? So it's both the motivated person, but also it's got to be realistic and stuff that works. Like the stuff that the data actually supports. Like what would that look like from beginning to end to maximize things like insulin sensitivity, muscle growth, energy, circadian rhythm.
Experiment anyway, right?
That's right.
Well, I know you're setting the table for this as like this biohack day. I mean, I could see this being this incredible, almost like reset day after a long, stressful week.
Totally.
Right? Hard week at work, stressful, flying places, all kinds of stuff going on. Maybe not the best night's sleep, missed workouts, all the things. And it's like, okay, Saturday.
Yeah.
I've got the day off and I'm going to just
on lockdown.
Yeah. What can I do to like just fully optimize my health and my body in a single day? What would it look like?
Totally. And this is something that would totally interest me. If I had a day that was totally off and I wanted to do something like what you said, Adam.
Yeah.
Either reset or have a workout, but maximize the workout itself with all the tools that I have access to, the ones that, the data show actually works. Like this would get me excited to do something like this. So obviously, we're going to start off with waking up, right? Now, this day starts the night before, though. I got to say that, right? I don't care. The rest of this doesn't matter. Yeah. If the night before you went to bed.
Have a good setup.
Yes. If you had bad sleep the night before, if you only slept 4 or 5 hours, or you drank the night before, or whatever, this will help, but it's not going to make that big of a difference. So this entire day starts with the night before. You want 8 hours of sleep. Now that's 8 hours of sleep, meaning you're going to bed and waking up, probably giving yourself about 8.5 hours. You want to give yourself 30-minute buffer to fall asleep. This is where I think a lot of people, when they see the studies on 7 to 8 hours, they don't realize that that's sleep, not just I went to bed.
Yeah.
So to set this up the night before, you want to go to bed and then you want to wake up about 8.5 hours later, give yourself about 30 minutes. And then leading up to that bedtime, be off electronics. Don't eat any food for maybe an hour or two before bed so that and make sure you have a nice, cool, dark room so you can have a great night of sleep. So that's how it's going to start. Otherwise, like I said, the rest of this is going to be a bit of a waste. Okay, so what do you do when you first wake up besides use the bathroom? Drink 16 ounces of water with electrolytes and go outside. Go outside and be in the sun for a good 10 to 15 minutes. This sets your circadian rhythm. This also has an effect on insulin sensitivity. This has an effect on mood. The studies on this are quite interesting. And a lot of us don't get this right out the gates. What we tend to do is reach for caffeine right away. You'd be surprised what by the way, this doesn't have to be a sunny day. It could be cloudy, but just go outside and get some sunlight for the first, like I said, 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, do that without reaching for your phone.
I was just going to tell you, I wanted to add that since this wasn't on here as like, if we are detoxing or resetting or optimizing a day, I also think this would be a perfect time to do a day without technology, a day without phone technology, I should say, because you're going to use other biohacking technology away from social media and all that. I think has to carry some incredible benefits to.
Thanks for adding that, guys. What's interesting is the way you start your day tends to have an effect, as the studies will show. By the way, this has to do with nutrition. This has to do with whether or not you get up and you have to rush out for work, or you get up and you get, like I said, you're on your phone. And what tends to be on our algorithm are things that get our stress levels up a little bit. So it's like news, politics, it's rumors, it's gossip. And it tends to set the stage. And there's studies that suggest that this affects the rest of the day, regardless of what happens for the rest of the day. So don't immediately wake up and go on your phone. Actually be off your phone, get up, drink this water with electrolytes, go outside, be in the sun. And without your phone, what's probably going to happen is you're probably going to think. You're probably going to be a little bored or whatever. That's exactly what we want. We want to set the stage for the rest of the day so that everything else you do is that much more effective.
Nice.
When you're ready, now it's time for breakfast. Today's program giveaway is the super bundle. That's a lot of programs we're giving away, but we're going to do it. Here's how you enter. Leave a comment below this video in the first 24 hours that we drop it. Subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications. If you win, we'll notify you in the comments section. Also, Black Friday, right now, 60% off everything. Every MAPS workout program, every bundle of programs, everything, 60% off across the board. There are no limits. Get them all if you want. 60% off. Go to mapsfitnessproducts.com. Use the code Black Friday. By the way, every purchase enters you into a contest. 2 people are going to get a week vacation on us at the MINDPUMP Park City House, plus $1,000 towards travel. 15 people are going to get 3 months of personal training from our trainers. Once again, 60% off everything. mapsfitnessproducts.com. Use the code Black Friday. Here comes the show. Does what you eat for breakfast make a difference for the rest of the day? Yes, absolutely. The best studies show that a high protein breakfast with some fats will improve insulin sensitivity for the rest of the day, regardless of what you eat for the rest of the day. And this affects cravings, energy crashes, or energy surges that you tend to have. And again, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. Even if later, which you're not going to do if you follow this, but even if later you eat foods that tend to cause these, blood sugar spikes, if you start the day with high protein and some fats, that tends to blunt that response later on.
Long-term stabilizing effect.
It's really interesting.
So if I'm building the perfect breakfast, I'm doing steak, eggs, and a bowl of fruit.
Yeah.
Like
I'm glad you threw berries.
Yes.
Yes. Berries are high fiber, low glycemic index
High
source
antioxidants.
High antioxidants. They taste great. And then the high protein, people are like, well, how much is high protein? I'm going to be clear here. It's probably about 30 grams for women, 50 grams for men. And I have to say that because I think when people eat a classic, what they would consider a classic breakfast, which is like 2 eggs, couple slices of bacon, you're looking at, what is that? 15 grams?
20, 15, 20 at most.
No, you want about 30 to 50 grams. By the way, if you can eat eggs and you don't mind eating a lot of eggs, like a lot of eggs is perfect. You got the fats, you got the proteins, you've got all the nutrients there. Now you throw in a bowl of blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. You've got your fiber. And this really sets the stage for, like I said, later on, the insulin sensitivity. It also is going to set you up. This is all, by the way, setting us up for a workout later so we can have a really, really good workout.
Ideally, I know you said you start off with like this kind of wake up, and would you go for like a little walk before you have breakfast, or are you only walking after you eat?
You can
Where's
go before
the coffee.
You can go before
Where's the
too.
coffee?
You can go before too, but after is where we see the best effect.
Yeah.
So what they say postprandial, right? So after breakfast, go for a walk. Now, as little as 10 minutes has a nice effect. Longer walks have a better effect. 30 to 60 minutes is going to make the biggest impact on digestion, on insulin sensitivity, and on hormones for the rest of the day, including the stress hormone of cortisol. So post-meal, go for a walk. Notice I didn't say run or bike or anything strenuous. You can do that if you want to, but what we're trying to do here is we're trying to set you up for a really good strength training workout later. So what we don't want to do is tap into too much of that energy. Pre-fatigue the body. This is just a stroll. You're just going for a walk outside after breakfast.
I like the idea, since you're recommending in the morning, first thing in the morning, to get started with electrolytes, get out in the sun, is I do a 10-minute walk to start
with the sun.
Yeah, pre-eating, right? So you're kind of killing 2 birds, 1 stone right now, kind of getting the body moving, blood flow, then go into my meal. Post-meal, I'm doing more like the 30 to 50-minute walk. Post-meal after that, just to speed up that digestive process and really get me going.
And what you'll notice is we're kind of setting the day up with this kind of parasympathetic wake up. Because remember, we're going to get into a sympathetic state later with the workout, right? So parasympathetic is this kind of rest and digest system of the body. Hormones look different. Catecholamines look different. It's a different state of mind. The sympathetic is like burn, drive, go, which is what you're going to want later for your workout. So you'll notice this is kind of a slow wake up. You're hydrating with the electrolytes. You're getting the sunlight for the circadian rhythm. This all affects hormones. You're getting the walk post-meal for the insulin sensitivity. It also helps shuttle some of those calories into
You have
your
way
body.
better cognitive performance. I noticed that too. If I'm like really reactionary and like
Yes.
stress heavy in the morning, I just don't think it's clearly
Yes.
the rest of the day.
Now, next, when you're ready, so this could be, so you could kind of chill, relax a little bit. Next, and by the way, during the relax period, if you want to add something, I think some kind of contemplative
Like
book or podcast.
gratitude practice would be awesome right here.
Yes.
Like what is the research on that? I know there's all kinds of stuff that they've done with like the positive benefits of doing something like a gratitude practice. Like this would be a perfect place, in my opinion, to insert this.
Yeah, just to get into that a little deeper, our brains, our minds are not wired to notice positive things nearly as much as they're wired to notice negative things or scary things. Negative and scary things, I don't have to remind you. Like nobody does. There is no such thing as hey, have a practice where you think of all the terrible things in your life. That doesn't exist.
That happens naturally.
The Stoics, would promote that on some level, the worst case scenario, but it's not.
But it's always to set you up with the. So nobody does that practice because it's so natural. It's very natural for us to think about all the scary, stressful stuff. What's unnatural is to think of all the good stuff. That's why it's called a practice, because you have to consciously do it. But when you do it, the data shows it totally shifts your mindset from one of stress to one of more joy and happiness and gratitude. What does this show up physiologically? Less inflammation, better testosterone levels, better insulin sensitivity, more balance with estrogen and progesterone in women. But it is a practice. So I'm glad you said that, Adam, because you should probably sit and think. By the way, when you start doing this regularly, and this is not necessarily part of this day, but if you practice this on a regular basis, you notice more good things because you practice noticing good things.
I think it's just such a powerful thing to add here, because if we're going to touch on the like trying to detach from the phone also in this day, inserting a positive, I think a lot of people that have never actually tried to build a day like this, that have actually intentionally went away from the phone and then intentionally included a gratitude practice. I think I don't know too many people that will not feel a difference from that day, because how profound it is to already not be looking at negative stuff to start your day. And then not only that, but go out of your way to practice focusing on all the positive things. I think that person will probably actually feel a difference in the first time that they do that.
Totally. All right. Now, when you're ready, this is when you're going to have your kind of higher calorie pre-workout meal. It's another high protein meal, but this time we're going to throw some starches in there. What this typically looks like is about 30 grams of protein for women, 50 grams of carbohydrates. For men, it's about 50 grams of protein, 75 grams of carbohydrates. Now you're going to drink another 16 ounces of water with this meal. And we're using starches because now we're looking for glycogen, right? We want this energy in our muscles. We want a better pump. Starches do this better than other types of
white
carbohydrates.
Rice right here.
Yeah, this is for me, white rice or sweet potato.
White rice with your favorite meat right here.
That's right.
This is a go-to move 100%. Right here.
And then after this, you're going to go for another walk. So probably another 30-minute walk. And then about 60 minutes later, now you have your caffeine. Now, I know
Justin's going crazy right now.
I know.
Killing me. He's
like, this is cup number 2. Well, actually, this is cup 1. Cup 0 was when you first.
That's right. Your first cup doesn't count.
Yeah.
But about 60 minutes after that post-meal walk, now have your caffeine or your pre-workout. This dose is different from person to person. For me, it's about 400 milligrams. For some people, it's as little as 100 milligrams. So I'll do, a Pulse is a pre-workout from Legion that I'll use sometimes, or I'll just have, just straight up 400 milligrams caffeine.
Now, even though we're teasing Justin a bit about Cup 0 and really the coffee, and I probably wouldn't have waited this long to have my first cup of coffee, but there are, and I believe it wasn't Peter Attia, it was Huberman who made this popular. But was it the first
about an hour or two?
Is it 90 minutes?
Yeah.
I believe it's the first 90 minutes. There's benefits to waiting the first 90. So at least waiting 90 minutes of that first part of your day before you actually have your first cup.
Again, we're painting the picture of the perfect day.
Right. You would never hear us talk about this as like on a.
This is every day.
Yeah, this is.
You're like, I got to go to work. What do you mean I can't have caffeine?
We're building the ultimate planned day right here. So keep that in mind.
And there's also, look, you could also, like, some people have coffee twice a day.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But if you saved all of it for this right here, this pre-workout, not only is your body primed, You were outside, you fed yourself, insulin sensitivity is good. Now you have a big bolus of caffeine.
Yeah.
You're going to be ready.
Well, we're trying to shuttle this into the strength training
That's
session,
right.
which is going to be perfect.
That's right. After this, so now about 90 minutes later, so this is much less like an hour and a half, 2 hours after your meal, now you get into a cold dip. And this is the way cold dips should be used.
I love this.
As a pre-workout. A lot of people will talk about using them post-workout. There's some value post-workout, mainly as a quick way to tamp down inflammation, reduce damage, which some people say is bad because it cuts down the muscle building signal. For some people, this is a good thing if you're going to work out again later in the day, like hard training athletes. We're not doing that here.
No.
What we're trying to do here is I'm trying to use the caffeine plus the cold dip to get your catecholamines through the roof. You are going to feel psyched, and your joints are going to feel like there's no pain because of the cold. And you're going to be in this cold dip for about 2 to 4 minutes, which is brutal. It's not.
It is brutal.
But how cold is the water typically when you get?
What do we have? What do we have set? 45. Does that sound right, Justin?
Sounds right.
45 at the. I think that's what the Park
43.
City's house is set at.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's
So
cold.
That's very cold.
Yeah.
yeah. So you get in there for about 2 minutes, almost ready for your workout. Now this is a biohacking tool. It's got tremendous data supporting it. You're going to get in front of red light therapy. You're going to do 20 minutes. 10 minutes on the front of your body, 10 minutes on the back. Why are we doing this pre-workout? This has been shown to boost muscle growth. It sets up, it amplifies the mitochondria. It actually is priming those muscles. That's why we're doing the front and the back of the body. You want to stand in front of it naked to get the full effect. And after this 20 minutes, you're ready to lift. So you did your cold dip, you got your caffeine, you did your red light therapy front and back. Now go lift, and you're going to do a full body workout. And full body workout just has the best overall effect at sending this huge signal for muscle growth throughout the whole body. Remember, when you lift weights, there's an acute effect, meaning or localized effect, I should say, where it's the muscles you train. But there's also the kind of the systemic effect. So when you do squats, most of the muscle growth goes to the legs, but the whole body gets a little bit of a stimulus, right? When you do overhead press, most of it's shoulders and arms. Whole body gets a little bit. So a full body workout, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to maximize
muscle recruitment, maximize force production.
That's right.
Your biggest movers are going to be those compound lifts.
And you are going to do compound lifts. That's what this workout looks like.
The only thing I would add to right here in this, because so far this day is like so perfect. In fact, it's got me so excited to want to try this. It's been a while since I built a day like this just to see how kind of a workout I get. Right before I get into my full, and I might even do some of this in front of the red light, is some of my mobility stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I might do some of my 90-90s right here, or a pigeon stretch while I'm in front of the red light. So kind of killing two birds with one stone. Really starting to prime my body to get into this workout. Because at this point, you know, as far as priming your central nervous system and getting yourself fed, I mean, you are ready to go. The next thing would just to be kind of mobilized and get loose and get warmed up.
Especially if you know those mobility exercises that move the needle for you the most. Like
Totally.
for me, that internal rotation, doing 90-90s would be perfect.
That's how I would do like two of my favorites. So whatever your two favorite like mobility primers are before you get into your lift, I'm probably doing that in front of my red light while I'm getting ready, and then it's game time right into the workout.
And now the workout is going to be big gross motor movement exercises. This is what moves the needle. This is what you're in, by the way, because of the setup with the hydration, the food, and everything we've done, you should get one of the best pumps you've ever had in your entire life, especially with the red light therapy, which is, I've tried this a couple times, pretty remarkable. This episode is brought to you by 8 Sleep, the most advanced sleep system in the world, uses AI technology to warm and cool your bed, monitors your sleep. It gives you the best sleep. There is nothing like this. And right now, their Black Friday is starting. So you can get up to $700 off. Go to 8sleep.com/MindPump. Back to the show. So the workout's going to start with either squats or deadlifts. Then you'll do your bench press, your overhead press. You'll do something for your arms. If you want to do like an exercise for your back, like pull-ups, you can do that before your overhead press. And that's pretty much your workout, about 3 sets per exercise. Keep the reps around 10. And you can go ahead and drive the intensity.
Now, as far as like hydration right here, obviously you are typical of drinking lots of water.
Yes.
Are you adding another thing of element here? Are you going to do that? Okay.
Yes, more electrolytes because of the workout, but also because of what we're going to do after the workout. Because we're going to do something else here after the workout. So again, the workout's going to look like squats or deadlifts, 3 sets. bench press, then maybe some pull-ups or some rows, overhead press, do your biceps and triceps if you want to do some core in there, and then you're totally done. While you're training, you should be drinking at least 32 ounces of water with electrolytes. I'm usually higher.
1
usually
to
around
3
64.
minute rests.
1 to 3 minute rests in between sets. And a minimum of 32
I was
ounces.
gonna say at least that on a day like this. If this is a day where you're planning
I would
all
rest,
day,
yeah, probably
long.
3
I might even stretch this workout.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, this is a day when you're fed, you're primed.
Yeah,
you're,
3 minute rest.
Yeah, you're mapping it out as the ultimate. Like this is the day that I'm gonna try and make these long rest periods and really take my time.
Totally. But if you like the faster paced workout, a minute would be the minimum I would do. Now, when you're done with your workout, you jump in the sauna for 20 minutes. Here's what's interesting about this. The data on this is phenomenal. Post-workout sauna boosts muscle growth and boosts VO2 max. What's cool about this, you're not doing anything. You're just sitting in a hot room. Yeah. So when they do studies on this and they compare groups of people,
simulates it, right?
Adding the sauna post-workout doesn't require more recovery, doesn't add more damage, doesn't, if anything, it reduces inflammation. But what it does do is it boosts the muscle building signal, and it boosts VO2 max. Studies on endurance athletes are remarkable. Sauna, boom, boost in VO2 max and endurance. For muscle building, boom, you get more muscle growth from the sauna.
So it's the core temperature increase that triggers that.
It boosts nitric oxide production. It boosts blood flow. You're boosting BDNF, which is great for the brain. It's a great post-workout practice. Then you're going to have your post-workout meal after this. So after you rinse off and you're ready to eat, your post-workout meal is going to mirror very closely to what your pre-workout meal looked like. So 30 to 50 grams of protein, 50 to 75 grams of starchy carbs. But now we're going to make sure you include a nice serving of really well-cooked greens. I say well-cooked because you want them to be easy to digest. Mm-hmm. This is going to help with the digestive process that you just had for your meal. And so, but the day's not over.
Yeah.
So here's the cool part. And here's what biohackers never talk about. Now you relax. Is relaxation a part of improving longevity, a part of helping with recovery and muscle growth?
Huge for recovery.
You want to get back into parasympathetic.
Yeah.
So we just went sympathetic, right?
Maximize.
Caffeine. We just went, so just to break it down, you went caffeine, cold dip. It's like sympathetic, like nation, right? You work out, sympathetic. Sauna, starting to go a little bit more parasympathetic. Post-workout meal, parasympathetic. And now,
so the best stretching sequence with that to add in would be our static stretches.
Static stretching, breathing, watch a movie, something that you enjoy, that's fun. Go out, relax, have a good dinner. Finish the day off with something relaxing. That's the end of this. This
is what our Gen Z would call raw dogging silence. No, I'm serious. There's like a trend going. You guys seen this? Yeah. There's a trend going on right now. I think it's called raw dogging silence, and they try and
not use electronics.
Yeah, it's like their version of meditation. Like, can you like completely just have nothing? Can
you be bored?
Yeah, can you be bored for like 1 hour? And so it's crazy that's become such a big challenge. But again, I think that's incredibly valuable right now. Probably for me, I think the stretching. I'm with Justin. I think that giving myself something to kind of do can be meditative in itself. And so I think that's where you would insert
What's perfect about all this is so when we put together, we have a MINDPUMP house.
Yeah, this makes me want to go to. This makes me want to go to Park City so bad.
We have a house in Park City that has
all of this.
Has all this stuff in there. Has got the red light, the cold dip, the sauna. The garage has a gym. It's got the electrolytes already in there. In fact, because that's one of our sponsors. And then we have the movie theater in there.
Yeah.
So when I think of relaxation and parasympathetic, I'm going in a dark room. I'm sitting in that room, stretching.
A nice dinner, then go watch a movie.
Watch a nice.
Well, this is why you guys. I mean, I've said this before many times. This is my favorite place of our places, even more than the Tahoe place. Even though size-wise, it doesn't compare to the Tahoe place. I love that it has all of this. I love that I could go there and feel like I can have, and it's probably the last time I did something remotely close to this, to be honest with you. Trying to think the last time that I had such a great setup where I could do all of this like in one spot.
I know last time it was so great because just being there with my kids and they just having the ice plunge there was like, inviting. And so we all just kind of dare each other to do it. And, it was great. They loved it.
It's all set up in the garage too. Right? So we have the cold dip and the sauna and the gym all in the garage. So you can do
Well, it's that time of year where we run a cool giveaway for the Park City House. So this is cool. It's cool timing to do this episode, cool timing to announce to the audience that this is, and we did something similar last year. I think we're giving away more this year.
We're giving away 2. So here's what it looks like, right? So we have our Black Friday, November sale. This is where everything's 60% off, all the programs, all the bundles, everything's 60% off. Every time you get something, you get raffles. You get tickets to enter into our raffle. So if you get a bundle, you get 10 entries. If you get a MAPS program, you get, I think, 3 entries. And then mods and guides give you 1 entry. 2 people are going to get 1 week stay at our Park City House. That's got all the stuff. It's got the cold dip, the sauna, the gym. It's got the red light. It's got everything in there. So if you want, you could plan 1 or more of these days because you get a week there.
By the way, if people want to look at the place, it's mindpumprentals.com.
Mindpumprentals.com.
And it includes a $1,000 traveling voucher too for your plane tickets.
Right. So you get to stay there for a week plus the travel voucher. 2 people win that. And then we also have some other stuff. 5 people are going to win 3 months of one-on-one coaching with our trainers. 10 people win 3 months of our concierge coaching. So if you want to try and get in there for free, go to mapsfitnessproducts.com. Use the code Black Friday. That gives you the 60% off. And again, bundles give you the most entries. The second most are the programs. The third are the mods and the guides. Look, if you like the show, come find us on Instagram. We'll see you. It's at MindPump Media.